Yeah, man. It says we're live.
Lies.
Well,
All
it
right.
changed colors.
Um,
Yes, it's a blue day.
Hell, send money.
Yeah.
It was 60 degrees when I had my coffee this morning. I don't know what it is now. It's the time of the year when the heaters run like hell in the morning and then the air conditioner runs like hell in the afternoon. Send money.
Yeah.
King Harvest Coffee. Don't forget, we've got the second coffee anthology of these guys coming out. If you order from them, please remember to tell them you heard about it here. That way, they'll send us more coffee.
We are getting a bit low.
Right? Saw 4 bags and in the cabinet, and John is going, "There's plenty of coffee." No, there's only 4 bags. Not plenty of coffee. If you like smartass t-shirts, check out tinyurl.com. Among the Leaves Tees, good friend of ours. If you order from him, let him know you heard about it here.
But that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that.
It'll be one of those mornings.
Yep. Good morning, all. All right. Jonna has decreed we have to start with something good. So, first up, SpaceX.
Whoa.
If you didn't see it live, which probably most of the people on the West Coast didn't, and a lot of people don't watch SpaceX that much.
They don't know about it.
They don't know about it. Yeah.
Well,
at
I would say there's only 1 billion other people ahead of you.
8.
Quite literally, 1 billion people have looked at the video.
Yeah.
So,
There was at 8:25 yesterday morning. SpaceX launched Heavy number 5 from down at Boca Chica. And it went up, and the booster came back down, and they caught the booster on
Yes,
the
they did.
pad.
Yes, they did. There's a video across the lagoon.
Yeah.
Of the crowd watching.
Yeah.
And the video has the crowd losing their minds. It's glorious. It's the people across the lagoon just lined up on the beach to watch this.
Yeah.
And you watching them because there was a whole bunch of tents when it was coming in.
Yeah.
And then when it shifted over, oh my God, the beach went nuts.
Yep, and they caught it on the. They did not catch it on the wings. They caught it on 2 prongs that stick out the side.
Even more.
So it had to actually rotate to be caught on those 2 prongs. And a lot of people are asking why. It's simple math. By removing the landing legs, quote unquote, and the mechanism, they get about another 1,000 pounds that they can use for cargo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The other thing, as Rick said, the Starship landing almost exactly on the target buoy.
No kidding.
So.
No kidding. Oh.
and it just leaves out the whole thing of we could see it coming down the entire time.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean,
Woo!
well, I mean, the ship itself, because we never used to be able to see that.
Yeah.
Because of Starlink.
Yep.
So, oh my God.
And you can see when it detaches, you can see the crowd on the crowd video is going, all right, here we go. Then that thing it's coming in hot too.
Yep.
Oh, it's coming in hot. And everybody's going, slow down, come on, baby. And then those 3 engines light off. And everybody takes a deep breath.
Yeah, Rick, differential GPS is a wonderful thing.
And I posted on Facebook. 1976, we came to the States for Dad's mandated get out of the third world once a month every year from the company. And we have my grandmother's, and there was a National Geographic, and it was on space habitats.
Mm-hmm.
And it had these glorious full color paintings of what the inside of space habitats were going to look like.
Yeah.
O'Neill cylinders and Bernal spheres and L5 colonies. And one of them was an interior shot of a woman in a white dress going down an escalator.
Yeah.
and it looked very normal. It looked like this was going to be the absolute normal. What is weird about this? And I fell in love with that idea.
Mhm.
I fell in love. I fell in love. And I remember, if I remember right, it was 1990s or 2000. We would have space habitats. And I took that National Geographic back to Africa, and I read it until it fell apart.
And
And
then they came up with a shuttle.
well, we came back, and all the news for kids in the little newsprint kids things that were going around were how the next step was a space shuttle, and I was thrilled. I was. The space shuttle was the next step. My father said, we sat down,
And we'll make a switch with the Enterprise name, you know.
and
Yeah.
then he said, let's do the math. We did the math, and I realized all of a sudden, sitting there next to my dad at the kitchen table, that it was a brick with wings that could barely make low Earth orbit.
Yep.
And had slightly more cargo capacity than an 18-wheeler.
Yep.
If that. And I was looking at him going, but they're saying it's the next big thing. And he said, well, son, people are bastards.
Yeah.
And my dreams got crushed. They did. Totally crushed. 80s came along, and it was all about other things.
Well, and I'm like a few other people on here. I'm still waiting for my damn flying car.
No kidding.
Yeah.
But my dreams, I thought by 1990s, 2000s, I
Yeah.
would be living. I was going to be running security on a space habitat, on
Yeah.
a space station, space habitat, with escalators and green open areas, and
Yeah.
that was
And a place you could fly in the middle because there would
Yeah.
be no gravity.
Yeah.
on the O'Neill cylinders. That was a big thing.
Yeah.
In the center of it, you'd be able to glide.
Zero G. Yep.
Yep. And then
I
now,
just want to be in zero G.
now all of a sudden, this batshit African American with enough money to make it happen, and a faith in himself, and enough squirrel bait in his head to think he can get it done.
Yeah.
Has reignited
D.D. Harriman for the win.
that kid that was going to be running security in a space habitat.
Yeah.
It's finally back after 30 years.
Yeah.
It's finally back.
The other thing that a lot of people forget is Kennedy was all in for space. LBJ wasn't. And LBJ took the
That money needed to be spent elsewhere on the future of the Democratic Party.
money
Take this box with you when you go.
and basically turned that into the Great Society. And that was the end of the space program per se.
Yeah, and the shuttle was, everybody was all yay about the shuttle. And then Dad said, let's do the math.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, Rick, I can agree with that. No flying cars. Envision blue-haired grannies training to be tall enough to peer over the dashboard of a flying car. Ah, yes. Oh. So anyway, it's a huge. Realistically, I think we can say it's a huge leap forward.
Well, and I know John wants us to be cheerful, but reading the comments to this magnificent achievement.
Oh, I have a copy of that at the house too.
Is it signed by the author?
Oh.
And instantly I distract him
Yeah.
with something happy. So,
Oh.
you know what? I just see the negative comments as people who are just going to stay here in the dirt, and they can, and they're just letting us know who they are.
Yep.
That's from John Glenn. So it just arrived. So I don't know why it's here, but it's here, and it's a fabulous thing. We'll add it to the Raconteur Press library. So
Yep.
Oh my God.
So on to other news. I got fished yesterday by a company called Credit Card Services. It was very interesting. And I played it out a bit because they had some interesting numbers on me, including my Social Security number. They also had the amounts on 3 of my credit cards and the last payments. which had me twitchy and then some. So I let it play out for a bit. And then they started in with the, yeah, it's all from a credit report. But the interesting part was the fact that they had it tied together. And then they started in on the, well, you don't have to pay the amounts on the credit card because you've been overcharged.
Just send us money.
No.
Hmm?
What they said was that I didn't have to pay anything else, that I could ignore any bills.
Uh,
Oh, so while they were running up your amounts, you could just like not look at it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. They're getting really sophisticated.
National Data Services breach is best guess, Steve. That's part of it. Part of it was my info was breached also at OPM twice. And so I let it run around and I could hear the slips into Indian accents.
oh,
So they kept quote unquote escalating me to higher and higher, you know. So in one of the escalations, I knew that the hold was going to be a minute, minute and a half. So right quick, I dialed in to Wells Fargo and got a fraud banker on the line and told him what was going on. And I said, I'm going to bring you into the conversation. So it was Credit Card Services, Steve, is the one that actually quote unquote called me. So yeah, exactly, Rick. They were trying to get me to not check your credit card activity and to destroy my cards.
yeah, don't bother destroying your cards.
So I got the Wells Fargo guy in the conversation. He was silent until the guy said, well, you know, we will. Oh, Padre, Credit Card Services actually exists. It's a real company. He said, we will notify the bank and stop your credit cards and tell them that you no longer have to pay the bill.
Oh.
And at that point, the Wells Fargo banker said, I don't think so. Get an immediate, who's that on the line with us? I said, oh, by the way, that's Wells Fargo. Click. So I immediately canceled all of my credit cards. See you, Liz, get some sleep. So I immediately canceled all my credit cards with both Wells Fargo and the other agency. Filed fraud reports. And I had the last 10 minutes of it recorded
Good.
and sent that to Wells Fargo and to the other agency. So we shall see what happens.
I was in the middle of saying something. I've forgotten what the hell I was trying to say. So I
Yeah.
just-
Yeah, Don, y'all, and switching gears yet again, Don, y'all were far enough out that you get a a pretty good night sky out there
no kidding.
without too much light pollution.
No kidding.
See the glow stick go flying past. Yes.
It's just
So there are many things going on in the world,
always.
for better or worse. And one of the other perpetually offended people, groups, whatever, is now coming back at or coming after Bed and Bath Works, Body Works, for a candle
Oh, of course. Oh, of course.
that was supposed to be a snowflake.
Okay.
But the perpetually offended left has decided, oh, that's really KKK hoods, not a snowflake.
All right.
Yeah. So Yeah, the Goofy Center may be the anchor for this new universe. Yeah.
Tuva wants to know if the package arrived, John.
Yes,
Yes,
it
it did.
did.
Sanford, it's right next to Sanford.
So never seen a snowflake with 12 arms around holes. Yeah. It's an AI art fail. But the interesting part is that Bed and Bath Works, Body Works, whatever the hell the name is, immediately crawfished back on
Of
it
course.
and apologized and pulled it from the shelf.
Stop doing that.
Yeah.
Stop doing that.
What I'm waiting for is who's going to be the sacrificial fireman.
Just stop doing that. Stop apologizing for people that don't mean anything.
Yeah.
These perpetually offended don't have the market share everybody thinks they do. They don't, because Bass Pro just don't care.
Yes.
Bass Pro folks don't care.
Yes, Sarah. There's going to be a lot of candles because they're pulling them all from the market.
It's just why bother? You 12 people that weren't going to buy them anyway. Why
Yeah.
do you give a damn?
Don, I don't shop at either one of them, so it beats the hell out of me of which one is which.
Stop apologizing when you didn't do anything wrong.
Bath and Body Works. Okay, fine. I'll use that term. Anyway,
I've actually made a means to that. Just
Yeah.
stop apologizing when you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't
Yeah.
do it wrong, don't apologize.
Yeah.
We demand an apology. Well, go sit on a tack and spin.
but this is endemic of what's going on today. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Sean. Woke capital is generally funding those companies. But what we're seeing is more and more companies are dropping the DEI/woke funding
Oh, no kidding.
and going back to conventional funding and going back to conventional management.
Which has worked for
Yeah.
decades.
It is truly capitalism at its finest, unlike the Marxism that the left is pushing.
In other news, we got Cedar back.
Yeah.
She's been out with Farm Girl for the weekend. Rita went out there and then cut across
Yeah.
Kansas to Missouri, Kansas.
Yeah.
Oh,
and found out how many 2-lane roads there are out there.
yeah.
I could have told her that.
I could have too. Apparently, State Highway 400 is a 2-lane road all the way across Kansas.
Driven that thing.
Well, there's nothing in Kansas to get in the way.
Yes, there is.
What?
It's called combines at 20 freaking
Combines.
miles an hour.
Combines, yes.
Yeah, I'll grant you those. But Kansas, the only place I know where if you stand on the Colorado border on 70,
Yeah.
and you drop a marble and you chase it, you'll get to Kansas City on the Missouri border before you catch it.
Yeah, Don, I would really love to have come up, but
Yes.
that Friday medical appointment just screwed me up, period.
Rita maybe promised to come up there later in the year. Maybe say when certain introduced species come into hunting season. Did I say that out loud?
Yeah.
I said that out loud.
1,000 clays in a day and a half with Jeff and Kelly. That does not surprise me. Those
Holy
boys can
crap.
shoot.
Holy! I understand that Kelly's in love with that Satori.
Yeah.
So she drove across Kansas and got into Missouri and called me punch drunk.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, and called up my got on the phone, got the business thing, and found a Holiday Inn in West Plains, Missouri, for her to stay.
Yeah, Jesse, you did try to feed me, but my back was hurting so damn bad. All I did was get a Coke and a bag of chips out of the hotel, whatever the hell that was, and go take a pain pill and flopped on my back for
So
10 hours.
Rita, who has suffered from insomnia all her life, got to the hotel in West Plains and apparently augured in for 9 hours, which doesn't often happen.
Oh, that sucks, Winkle Red.
Tried to feed him. Browning has a Satori 16 gauge on an actual 16 gauge receiver. And I realize y'all aren't gun nuts. You don't understand how important, how fantastic that is. And one of these days, when I am a wildly successful publisher at the top of the food chain, I'm going to buy myself a 16 gauge Browning Satori on a 16 gauge frame.
Well, you shot my 12 gauge one.
I have. I want a 16 gauge.
Yep.
That way I can go up there and I can smack Don's pheasants right proper.
Yeah, I've got a Satori, but more people have shot it than I have.
Right. Well, you're not a shotgun person.
No.
Which we could change, but you don't want to. See, that's what he always does.
You don't put a scope on a shotgun. If it ain't got a scope on it, you don't want it.
Well, Kelly was telling him, Jim, you just have to accept good enough.
No, I cannot slap the trigger,
I know.
and that's what's required in shotgunning.
Not necessarily required. It's just it's a good idea.
It don't work for me that way.
I am decided that in addition to traveling, I'm going to actually do some traveling. I have it beaten in my head that traveling for pleasure is not a good thing. There should be business always. So
We have no choice.
Oh, holy grand grenade.
Oh, NTR.
Yep.
So I'm going to be doing some more traveling. I'm going to see if I get into the traveling for pleasure thing, which I've never done. I really haven't. And I'm also going to do a little more hunting. I haven't done nearly enough hunting, and I need to. Jim Anders and Kelly Grayson have been getting after me to waterfowl hunt for. Kelly's been doing it for decades.
Yeah, Kelly's wanting to go down to the Irvings again too.
Yeah.
Book of Ornaments, Chapter 10. Yes.
So in November, I'm going to drive down to San Antonio one Friday, and meet up with somebody who'd like to guest edit for some hopefully local food, and then just 6 hours down there, have a lunch with them, get to November 9th. And then come back in the same day and start knocking off, the trading scars over travel must be for business.
When are you going to go look for Rudolph and let him laugh at you again?
Rupert. Yeah. We're discussing that. Now, it's amazing what Jonna has in the shop.
No kidding, right?
That shield up behind you.
It's amazing when you have a geek with a shop. John is the original geek girl, and we love her for it.
Oh, yeah.
But you should have been more careful when she gave it to you. Beware of a geek bearing gifts.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yes, I know. That's the first time you used it.
No.
That's really this.
It's had a life, that particular grenade. So
I'm going to find somebody with a light Mossberg 20 gauge pump with a full bore choke, because Texas has opened up Chocolaca season, and Chocolaca tree pheasants are 3 counties down in South Texas.
Yeah.
And they are hard as hell to hunt, and most people don't bother hunting them because they're basically varmints, but they taste really good. And the thing about tree pheasants, Chocolaca, is they are allergic to flying. They will run along branches, and they'll glide. Once they hit the end of the branch, they'll glide to another branch. The only time the damn things ever fly is they fly down the tree, go and raid the farmer's crops, run back to the tree, fly back up, and then run around the tree. And
It'll be like barking squirrels.
you have to sneak up on them, and the reason most people won't hunt them is you have to shoot them off a tree limb, and and Americans have this instinctive thing: you don't shoot a bird that's sitting on something. It has to be flying before you shoot it.
Hmm.
And yeah, American hunters won't, other than turkeys.
The hell you say?
I know. Most of them, it has to be flying.
Most Americans I know could sit and flip you the bird, shoot you the birds anytime.
Food is food. However you get that food.
Right. Other than turkeys, they want them to fly.
Yeah.
It's like I could shoot pheasant on the ground, but apparently the damn thing has to be flapping before I shoot it. So
I did that once.
I've done it more than once.
There was not. The dog ran out, looked back at me, and went, "There's nothing left." Hitting a pheasant with a 12 gauge when it's coming straight at you.
Blew it to bits, didn't you?
Yes.
Why would I not shoot a bird perched on something easy shot? Apparently, it's not sportsmanlike. I'm from Africa. Sportsmanlike is not part
It's
of the thing.
food.
It's food.
Yeah.
And apparently, chakalaka is from the same general family as chickens and pheasants and turkeys. And apparently, the breasts are really good
Yeah.
because they eat up the farmers.
And really lean.
Yeah, they look very lean. Well, apparently, there's a little layer of fat on there that
Not much.
Serves to moisten it when you're broiling it.
Yeah. Well, you're wrapping bacon anyway, so.
But I had a chakalaka breast 20 years ago that the farmer had shot out of his field because it was eating his peppers.
That was a spicy one, wasn't it?
Oh, it was good. It was good. It had been living on jalapenos. And holy gods, that was damn good eating.
Yeah, sportsmanlike is right up there with chivalrous. Yep.
Somebody said, what kinds would you be sit here in San Antonio? Good food.
Yeah.
Not chain. If I'm going to be traveling, I'm not going to be eating a chain unless I have to. That's the thing of it. It wasn't the chakalaka they've been eating. The peppers wasn't. It had the pepper flavor, but not
Right.
the pepper heat. It was really good. It's like when Matt and I, Reno and I, got the buck that had been living in a berry patch the entire year. Oh, Yum is not kidding. That was the best deer I've ever had.
We shot over 60 deer out of a persimmon orchard
That's
in
on
a
you.
varmint hunt.
Yeah, that's on you.
Never got a single bit of deer
Oh,
because it was all donated.
yeah. Well, the North American hoofed rat is damn decent eating if you do it right.
But they had cleaned out this persimmon orchard. We were down there.
Yep.
This was in Virginia. Went down with a couple of LEOs to do a varmint hunt in this persimmon orchard. And the agreement was they were going to donate most of the meat. So they had butchers lined up on the road. The churches were there. The food banks were there. Everybody was there. So we shot probably 15 or 20 deer. Went in, drug them out.
If I'm dragging it out, I'm getting a backstrap.
They went over, started processing. We went back, waited about 20 minutes, shot another 25 deer that had come in, drug them out, and this went on. We shot over 60 deer out of that persimmon orchard.
Yeah.
And by the time we got done, my shoulder was killing me. We got out to the road, and they're packing up and leaving.
Bastards.
And I looked over at the game warden, and I go, "Where's our cut?" He goes, "No, we gave all of it away." What?
If I got to drag it out, I'm at least getting a backstrap.
Yeah. We got nothing.
I'm just, woo. There was a, up in Clarendon, there's a peach orchard, Monroe's. And I spent a lot of months hanging around the edges of Monroe's peach orchard looking for a deer. And I was going to help him on to his next incarnation. And then I was going to feast on a deer that had been living on
Peaches.
peach fall.
Oh,
Oh,
that would have been good.
oh, no kidding. No kidding.
Deer that have been eating acorns aren't bad.
No, acorns.
Hey, Dagamore,
Hello. It's dark, cold. I don't want to do that. It's not that you don't necessarily have to be dark and cold. Although, Cat, you see that hog Cat got?
Yeah.
Cat got a 210-pound hog. And apparently, a whole bunch of people don't realize,
Have fun, Cyberluda.
apparently, a whole bunch of people don't realize that hogs, the feral hogs, are just are pigs.
Yeah.
They don't taste any different than regular pigs because they are regular pigs that got out.
Well, some of them are.
Yeah, most of them.
There's a difference between a hog, feral hog, and a boar.
Yeah, no kidding. And I was in her comments this, I've heard Texas hogs taste terrible. Why would they taste terrible? Now they get to, you get Hogzilla, 440
Yeah.
pounds. And he's not, get the back straps, tenderloins. He ain't gonna be, the rest of it's not gonna be worth eating.
Yeah.
But 210 is good as an eating size hog.
I don't like anything over about 150.
Yeah.
That's just personal preference. Now the problem with the difference between a boar and a hog is boars were Wagoner introduced boar to North Texas
Yeah, he did, bastard.
to have something to hunt. And these were feral boar from Europe.
Russian boars.
Yeah. Now they are different from the Razorbacks out of Arkansas, which is also a boar. But a boar, the plate on the forehead is about a 45-degree angle. The feral pigs, which are pigs that escaped from
Domesticated pigs
domesticated
that have
pigs,
been raised to be a little easier to whack.
they have a forehead that looks kind of like that. It arcs. Those you can head shoot fairly easily.
Mhm.
A boar, trust me, past experience, all you're going to do is piss it off if you shoot it frontal headshot
Once you've pissed one off, leave.
or go up the nearest big tree. The other thing is, with either hog or boar, it's almost impossible to get through the front plate on them because the musculature is so thick.
Well, and they've got that cartilage plate in there.
And, the side shot is your best shot.
Yep.
What you do not want to do is what they call a Texas heart shot, which you shoot them in the ass as they're running away, because that spoils way too much meat.
Yeah, and Texas heart shot is not a good idea.
Yeah.
Not on hog. It's not a good idea. Anything. If you aim just above the
Elbow.
exit on a Texas heart shot, you hit the spine. It goes down the spine.
Yeah.
And it's a fairly. If you hit the spine, it goes down the spine. That deer or hog or whatever is down there. Trouble is, no, people don't hit the spine.
It also screws up the backstrap.
Oh yeah, they don't hit the spine. They hit below the spine, and then it goes through the intestines and up into it splatters what's in the intestines everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not good. No.
It spoils the meat.
Yeah.
And if you've ever tried to dress one, which I had a gentleman who was given a couple of hogs.
Went on a gut shot, and
Yeah.
we started dressing him out in Jim's garage or under his carport.
Yeah.
And he was squishy.
Yeah.
It's like, oh damn.
And the guy was going, well, what's wrong? So I handed him a knife. I said, go ahead and cut into it. And he did, and just about puked.
Yep.
It was nasty.
Yeah.
Food.
We're back to food. Um,
Mexican food.
There's Walmart. If y'all are interested, Walmart's got $1 bottles of Tabanero, little bitty $1 bottles.
Yeah.
And I got one of their key lime hot sauces.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's better than Nando's.
But it's close.
Oh my God, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's good.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, Ian does have a story about headshot.
I didn't head shoot him. I didn't.
You
I
shot
didn't.
him
I
in
got
the
him right in
flank.
the chest. Got him right in the chest.
Yeah.
And he went Oh, you motherfucker! That was my all-time favorite pistol was a P7 M8. Love that thing. Great pistol.
Lemon squeezer.
Lemon squeezer. I could do work with that pistol. I really could. It was a great little pistol. I had to sell it. The great medical issue. Sold it for a hell of a lot more than I paid for it.
Yeah.
Miss it though. And I had been out to I'd been out gun sight, and when I came around the corner and and I saw that hog, I'd been in gun sight. I speed rocked him. It just leaned back and it just cleared the holster and I fired. And it was a beautiful shot right here. Beautiful shot right there. And the hog went, "Oh, you motherfucker." And that was not good. It took Gary Hunt got it with it wasn't a 45-70, it was a 450 Marlin, which is a 45-70 with a belt because it's overpressured. And it took 3 shots to take that hog down. And
Yeah.
I think if I remember right, he told me it was about a 400-pound hog.
Well, plus the DPS trooper shot it with a 45.
45.
And did about the same thing.
Uh-huh. Out of his SIG P220, and he'd been giving me shit for a year about a 9mm wasn't all that in a bag of chips. And he thumps the 45 and
Well, at least it got the hog away from you for a while.
briefly.
Sir Brass, you have to understand, big hogs do not go down easily.
If you're going to have big hog, the best way to hunt them is from a helicopter
Well,
A
with a
high
machine
hide
gun.
with a high hide.
I disagree with hunting from helicopters, simply for the fact that they kill a few hogs. They wound a lot of hogs.
Doing a lot.
And all they're doing is putting food on the ground because they never go back and get them. They don't pile them up. They don't burn them. So all they're doing is effectively feeding the next generation of hogs.
Hogs, because hogs are cannibals.
Yeah.
Hogs will eat. If you shoot
They'll eat their young.
Yep. If they get hungry, they'll eat the kids.
Yeah.
If you shoot a hog, well, we've got a friend out west. I guess he's still out west. I haven't heard from him in
Yeah.
years. That his land is overrun with hogs, and every hog he gets, he takes the back straps and tenderloins, and then buries the rest.
Yep, that's exactly right, Don. Muscle and fat are insanely dense. Getting to the vital organs on a large hog is difficult as hell.
If I remember right, Gary was running that 450. He was running hand loads.
Yeah.
And it was basically a silver tip because what he was using it for was hitting, was doing the needful for deer that had been hit or emu
Horses.
that had been hit,
Or emu.
or horses. And he had a light, it's a 450 Marlin, but it was a quick expanding light bullet. And it took him 3 shots, and he was standing in the bed of his issue pickup when it finally went down.
No, Sir Brass, AP is not going to do that much better because it doesn't expand. The thing is, it's a whole different.
The thing is, you
Yeah,
want
I'm not
the
even
non-expand. You want the non-expanding for dangerous game, heavy dangerous game loads like Cape Buffalo or elephant. You have to have a non-expanding solid.
Yeah.
Thing is, as dangerous as hogs are, they're not really dangerous game. You need expansion to do damage.
Yeah.
You've got to do damage and get them to drop. Hello, welcome to Hog Talk. Next caller.
Hello, Tom.
So back to where this started. I'm going to start doing a little more hunting. I'm retired, as my little sweetheart has pointed out. You're retired. Why are you? It's like, okay.
Retired, retarded.
And granted, I've got rack press going, but quite honestly, John and everybody else, I'm wandering every now and then and make a pronouncement and wander off.
Or you play with the tech. Give us work.
There was in one of our back channel chats, there was Mike had this all in capital letters: "Do not let Ian touch the tech." I seriously don't understand. I haven't tried to understand
Yeah.
computer internet technology because I don't care. As long as the damn thing works, I don't care about how it works. And my joke about sacrificing a box of chicken to the
Not
Magic-
necessarily a joke.
magic elf box is I push the on button and it works. If it doesn't work, I hit it with something until it works.
Sir Brass, you need penetration. But the problem with armor piercing or that type of ammo,
You get a hole that big all the way
Yeah.
through, it doesn't hit anything.
whereas if you shoot them with hard cast, which is a specific type of cast bullet, it will flatten, usually to about double size, and it will rip as it goes through.
Winchester had a round called Failsafe.
Yeah.
They don't make it anymore, and it annoys the crap out of me. They don't make it anymore. Failsafe was a great little round, especially in 7mm, because it was designed for the front half to mushroom real big,
Yep.
and the back half to stay solid.
Yep.
And that was the best all around. I wouldn't use it on dangerous game in Africa, but for the U.S. for the lower 48, it was in my opinion, the best hunting round I've ever seen for 708 or 308.
Yeah, Dagamore, that would work.
Please do not fire incendiary rounds in Texas at this time of year because we don't need to set the state on fire.
Yeah, again.
Again,
Uh,
We didn't have any running around setting fires this year like we usually do.
Yeah.
right? I think they're all in jail.
Yeah.
Last couple of years, every time you turn around, somebody was setting a fire
Yeah.
in town.
I think, they're
yeah,
all in-
most of them are now
I think most are in prison.
enjoying the prison life.
Yeah. Because for some reason, the conventional wisdom, which I don't think is wrong, is that arsonists and chomos come from the same pool.
Yeah.
So arsonists sometimes don't have a good time in federal prison.
They're exploring a burn of a slightly different kind.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm gonna see about. I got my 30-30 back. Got back last year. Matter of fact, Peter has a pet gunsmith. Peter Grant has a pet gunsmith. He took my 30-30, which had locked up on me. I got a 1950s era Marlin
Yeah.
336 30-30. That is my all-time favorite. That is the American Woods gun. I love that thing. And I was really annoyed when I couldn't move the lever anymore. So
Annoyed was putting it
I was
mildly.
pissed off.
Well, when you get old, you don't have the muscular strength you used to.
Ooh, it was locked
Oh.
up. So Peter took it to his pet gunsmith, who took one look at it, took the wood off it, dropped a barrel of gasoline for a week.
Yeah.
And the amount of gunk in there was just whew.
Yeah.
The gun oil that
One of these days you'll learn how to clean things.
I can clean stuff. It's just that the what? She's giggling. Why is she giggling?
At least you're not as bad as Kelly getting a goddamn rat.
The
Skeleton out.
mouse skeleton in his 870.
Dumping it in the water and swishing it
Swishing it
around
around.
is not cleaning.
There wasn't any stripper dust, but the 3-in-1 oil that my grandfather had been using on it had varnished, had turned to varnish.
Yeah.
And he had to use gasoline to break the varnished 3-in-1 oil loose. And then offered me a considerable sum of money because it doesn't have a safety. That's pre-lawyer.
Yeah.
It is a lovingly well used 1950s era 30-30 carbine,
Yeah.
and I could sell that thing for a crap ton of money, but I'm not gonna because I love it, and it loves Marlin Lever Revolution 140 grain ammo.
Yeah. Whereas my Winchester does not.
No, it doesn't.
And my Winchester is a 94. It's a pre-64,
Mhm.
which is worth also a chunk of money. Would
Yeah.
be.
And running Lever Revolution through it, which is great, a great round for lever actions. But we couldn't figure out why it wasn't hitting the target.
Yeah. It was a 5 to 7 inch group.
It was bigger than that at 100 yards because he couldn't
Well,
hit
yeah.
the paper. And we started moving forward from the shooting bench, and I think at 20 yards, we finally got one on paper. and it was this lovely sideways shot of a
Yeah.
sideways notch where the
Yeah.
bullet had hit sideways.
Yeah. As it turned out, the Lever Revolution round was designed
30,
for
the Micro Groove 3030.
Micro Groove 3030 Ballard rifle.
Well, the next generation Lever Revolution now takes Winchesters into account.
I
so.
don't care. I've got my Winchester silver tips, and that's what's
Yep.
going through that gun.
Yep.
That is probably, I would say, 99% of the ammo that's been fired through that gun by me and
Yeah.
my cousins.
I can see the old man now with cane waved over his head. Yeah, and my granddaddy used this kind of ammunition. I want to use this kind of
Yeah.
ammunition.
When
Trying to find that kind of
Yeah,
ammunition
no
gets
kidding.
interesting.
Starfire,
Yeah.
when Starfire was in business, they had a 150 grain 30-30 that rifle
Yeah.
loved, and it had a hollow point on it that damn near big around my, and boy, when it hit a deer, it
Yeah.
expanded.
Oh, can you get 32 rimfire anymore?
32 rimfire,
Yeah, occasionally, but you're going to pay
you can pay through the
$4
sinuses
a
for it.
round for it.
You know, pay through the sinuses for it. So I have it back, and it is I'm going to put a Gunsmith Joe wants me to put a scope on it, and it can be scoped, but I'm actually bad eyes and everything. I'm going to put a peep sight on it, a peep sight and a fiber optic front sight.
Well, that 30-30 of mine at one point had a scope,
Mhm.
but I took it off.
You took a scope off a rifle?
Yeah.
You?
Right?
I can shoot irons. I'm old enough and I learned how to shoot on irons.
But you can't get the precision with iron.
Ask Jay Grazio about that.
Uh-huh. But no, the I'm gonna Skinner makes a sight that looks like a peep sight looks like it belongs on a 30-30. I'm
Yeah.
gonna stick a Skinner on there with a fiber optic front, and that'll be my 50-yard gun.
Now, we did a shoot many years ago in Virginia for the kids. So I drug out my old Marlin 39. And we basically had it in the guy's backyard, large backyard. So we went out about 50 yards and we put some targets out. We put some targets out at 25 for the kids. And then we put some pops out at 20 yards. Not Tootsie Pops, those are good. The other ones,
Dum-dums?
yeah, Dum Dums.
Yeah, the cheap nickel.
Yeah.
Nickel candy is great. Makes great targets.
Yeah, so we had like 20 of them lined up. And
See you, John.
yeah, have a good one, John. It was kind of funny because they were ragging on me about shooting a
Scope.
scope versus shooting with irons. So we had a 3-inch clanger out there about 40, 50 yards. And I went, oh, really? Ding, 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 ding. Emptied it, never missed. And Jay looked at me and went, that's fucking cheating. I said, no, that's called being an old man that's done it and practiced. I never shot shotguns. Everything I did growing up was rifles.
Yeah.
The few times that I went out with a shotgun was squirrel hunting, and my mother outshot everybody. So I never got a shot. I mean, there's nothing more embarrassing than walking through the woods at 10, 11, 12 years old, and you're scanning everywhere for those damn squirrels that are up in the trees. And all of a sudden you hear a 14 go, pop, James, go get my squirrel. Yes, mama.
My mother does not like guns. She's not anti-gun. She just doesn't like them.
Yeah.
So we're fishing at the pond on the farm we lived on. And for some reason, line broke. You got a bobber floating out there in the middle of the pond. Well, Dad had the 22 out there for some reason.
Yeah.
And he took a couple of shots at it, couldn't hit it. I took a couple of shots. My little brother took a couple of shots. nobody could hit it. He hands the rifle to Mom, says, Dorothy, you take a shot. And she turns her head away from it, points it in the general direction, pop, bobber's gone. A few years later, we had a balloon, helium balloon, get away from us, get stuck out the top of the tree. Dad took a couple of shots at it, it's bouncing around the wind. My brother took a couple of shots, I took a couple of shots. Dorothy, here, take a shot at this. Turns her head away, pop, pops the balloon. 30 years later, they're living in Science Hill, Kentucky now, or Somerset.
Yeah.
They got a neighbor who's all this about shooting and precision shooting, all this stuff. And he's put a box, a 22 caliber box on a tree 50 yards down in the woods.
Yeah.
And they're using it as a target. Of course, none of them can come anywhere near it.
Yeah.
And they said, well, Dorothy, why don't you take a shot? And she turns her head away, goes pop. And of
And
course, nails it dead center.
Yeah.
And they said, I don't believe you did that. You
Yeah.
can't have done that. Do that again. No, I did it once. I don't need to prove it again.
Yep,
Right.
exactly.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, I am a what I would consider a good rifle shot. I suck with a shotgun. I'm acceptable with a pistol. I don't claim to be all that great with any of them, but I usually hit what I'm aiming at. Yeah, RK. A lot of people in the older generation, older than us anyway, grew up around guns, with guns, shooting guns a lot
Well,
because that's how they ate.
I was about to say when that's what you depend on to eat.
Yeah.
There are a lot of stories from the Depression of scraping enough money together for one box of 22.
Yeah.
And every round you fired had to be attached, had to come back with something for the pot.
And if it didn't, you got in trouble. Yeah, my
Mm.
mother and dad both lived through the Depression, and Grandpa was a railroad engineer.
That's why people got good with rabbit sticks, because sometimes you want to bring back without wasting a round.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And rabbit sticks are something that most people don't even know what they are. All a rabbit stick is a piece of wood about 10 inches long with either a big nut on the end of it or a ball bearing or something stuck on the end of it. And you learn how to throw those things. And I was never that good with it, but a friend of mine, Bill, he was deadly with one of those damn things.
And deadly is actually the right word.
Yeah.
You can easily kill a man with one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But he would hunt rabbits in the field behind his house. And, you know, his parents grew up in the Depression. His dad had retired from the Army as a command sergeant major. And they ate a lot of rabbit.
Protein.
Yeah.
As long as you mix it up with other stuff,
Yeah.
because living just on rabbit is not good.
Well, we all had gardens.
Mhm.
I mean, rabbit recipes.
No, rabbit is better than squirrel.
Eh,
I hate squirrel.
well, it takes more squirrels to make a meal than it does a rabbit. Yes.
Well, no, the flavor's better for a rabbit.
Yeah.
Squirrel tastes nasty. And
Well,
I don't care how much you want to tell me how good squirrel gravy is.
Yeah.
Rita, if we want to talk about rabbit recipes, we need Rita on here. She
Yeah.
does a rabbit that is just toe-curling.
Our rabbit story is hilarious too.
Shocked an entire company of Karens.
Yeah.
And she made an oopsie on an email
Yeah.
regarding Easter rabbits.
Yeah, Dagamore rabbit sticks. Yes, made them in Boy Scouts. I had forgotten about that. We didn't have the 550 cord, but yeah, definitely made them in Boy Scouts.
I like to use them in nut when you're trying to do it, because if you got the right size stick, you can thread it on there and you didn't have so much trouble keeping it stuck.
Yeah.
Down south, you follow our rule for rabbits and are in a month. I'm a big fan of hunting rabbits after the first cold snap.
Yeah.
Probably same thing. Probably same. First cold snap to get the worms. Um, to deal with the worms. Rabbit's good.
Yeah,
I-
usually after October, down here anyway.
after the first cold snap.
Wild rabbit is definitely lean, yes. Just like wild turkey is lean.
Oh yeah, our first
Uh,
hard freeze, cold
yeah.
snap, hard freeze, same thing.
Wild
The
turkey's a little harsh. I much prefer jack.
true. Well, especially if you stay away from the 151. But wild turkey, if you can hunt one and actually kill one, they are not butterballs, folks.
No, and
They-
they know they're a prey species and they act like it.
Yeah.
I've never gotten a turkey.
I've gotten two.
I've never gotten a turkey.
Yep, RK, that's a good point. Pretty much all wild game is lean. And that's one of the reasons, too, if you go back and look at pictures of people up through the 1950s, 1960s, basically. Yeah, Brian, tell them or do. Go right ahead. We're going to do that. I want my Macallan, 25-year-old.
I'm happy to have bushels. I'm not picky.
But we bow hunting for turkey. So what?
I don't bow hunt.
You just miss that many more turkeys if you get a shot at them. The thing is, the people were skinnier. I mean, hell, I weighed more than my father did. My grandparents ate sausage, biscuits, gravy, bacon, heavy meals that should have made them weigh way more than they did. They were all skinny.
That's because they're all active.
They were active, and everything they ate was basically lean meat. We didn't have the fat turkeys that you do now. We didn't have the fat chickens. I mean, everybody talks about organic chickens.
Organic chicken,
Yeah.
organic anything is a Latin word being add an extra zero.
Yeah.
To the price.
I grew up on organic chickens. I had to chase those little fuckers around the goddamn chicken house.
They tasted better, but you didn't have them there. They weren't as good to eat.
Well, and having to wring their neck and then fight off the other chickens that are trying to peck me to death. And then having to dip the son of bitches in boiling water and pluck the feathers.
I just one maybe when I go up to see Dawn, I need to get the services of
Talking about wild turkeys? That is a wild turkey.
it is
Uh,
skinny little bugger.
it moved in and decided mom was its best friend.
Okay.
When I eat what I hunt. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't unless the only time I shoot anything is if I'm going to eat it or it's a threat to something or
Yeah.
somebody. So when I go up, I'm going to need to find somebody to pluck the pheasants if I get one.
Yeah.
Because I hate plucking birds. I hate plucking birds.
There's a reason why some people skin them.
The physical activity is a part of it. And Sarah, you're right. Sugar plays a part of it.
Oh yeah.
Everything has sugar in it now these days.
To the point, when I was a kid, my grandmother made fried apple pies.
Yeah.
She dried apples when they came in for the season.
Yeah.
She takes some biscuit dough and roll it out thin, drop a few pieces of dried apple on it, a little bit of butter.
Yeah.
And just a tiniest little pinch of salt. Not salt, but sugar.
Yeah.
Not much, just a tiniest little bit. Fold it over and fry it in grease. Lard.
Yeah.
And they were really delicious and really sweet. I bet if you tried to eat one now, it would taste almost savory because we've got so used to so much higher sugar content.
Yeah.
Back then, that little tiny dab of sugar she put in was a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Intermittent fasting, yeah, that works too.
Rita's doing that together with weightlifting and intermittent fasting. She's losing weight.
Yeah.
Losing a ton of weight.
Yeah, Don. You crave the crispy bird skin and buy the damn chicken. Yes.
If I whack a pheasant, I'm going to eat it. If I eat it, somebody's going to have to get the feathers off of it.
Yeah.
I will bring you feathers.
She's plotting and scheming
Oh, yeah.
already.
Oh, yeah.
Because you shake your tail feathers.
I don't think she requires feathers in order to shake her tail feathers.
No.
Quite honestly.
Sedentary life, yes. And, you know, realistically, many of us are in worse physical shape than our parents and grandparents because of different things that we've done with our lives.
Our mileage is different.
Mileage is a lot different. I'm limited in what I can do because of my back and my neck. You know, and it's basically I'm limited to walking. That's it. I can't run. Of course, I'm too old and grumpy to run anyway. So
Just thinking we need the T-shirt.
Yeah.
If we ever come to a land war in the United States,
Yeah.
we'll all need T-shirts. These colors don't run because we can't.
yeah, exactly.
Raptors out.
Yeah, and we've wasted another hour of your time anyway.
Boy, this was odd episode.
I don't know why you say that because they're odd every time.
This is more odd than normal.
Yeah.
We didn't really have a point, and I wandered off on hunting.
Yeah, we wander anyway. But just remember, folks, in all seriousness, the fishing attempts are getting more sophisticated. They are getting more intrusive, and they will do everything they can to get your information and get your
Oh,
money.
yeah.
So be aware. If you have any doubts about what's going on, call your bank and talk to them directly.
You call them. Don't trust it if they call you.
And just because they say they're from a reputable company, don't necessarily believe them. Even if the number
I can
goes
say
back.
I'm the Queen of Sheba.
And we will see you on Thursday, folks.
I'll
So
be safe.
remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.